33 years I've been in Rurawai, cracking good place. Home is where the heart is, and it's certainly here for me in Northland. So many of my neighbours know who I am, I know them, and we share the passion of what we do in rural New Zealand. You can't not talk about a cow or social events. When there's barbecue, someone's always talking about how much milk's being made and how little is being made. Oh, my favourite cow, gracious me, she's here somewhere. Darling was her name, and she's an absolute darling. Big framed, fantastic udder, and yeah, she happens to be a family pet, so yeah, absolutely part of the family. I was born in Australia in the early 70s. That's my mother. I was raised by a solo mum. You know, my mother left my father for reasons that everyone has, difficulties in a marriage. I didn't really know my biological father until I was in my 30s. I met him when I was, gracious me, I think I was 33. In the interim, my mother remarried and I was 8 going on 9 there. And what a tremendous man. Like he really taught me the value of all things. Yeah, now and again we get a bit stretched on farm or in Parliament, but equally so, I'm exceedingly lucky. I've got a partner that runs this farm in my absence. Now, I got on a dating website and I was like, oh my Lord, what am I doing? And Jodie answered, right? So, good story.
Went out to dinner in Whangarei, and the first question he asked me was, would I prefer Batman or Spider-Man? Yeah,
I actually did, right. Well, it's a spandex thing, and I thought, well, Batman's certainly the better kind of person. And how she answered it decided whether we went out on a second date.
And I chose Batman, so that was apparently the right answer to choose.
She's the boss of me, really. I'm seldom.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. No, it's really cool, and it's a shared journey, right? We love what we do in rural New Zealand, and we love farming. And I think as a family, you know, our children have all grown up in an environment where their parents, to some degree, have a farming, you know, background, love of farming, love of the land. We've got 4 children between us. I've got 2 older children, and you've
got 2 younger ones.
Yeah, very capable young people, and we're bloody proud of them.
Immensely proud, yeah.
Oh, I suffered, you know, depression quite badly, and a lot of it is isolation. Blokes are shocking at communicating. And I think the thing is, when you're isolated, you're a male anyway, and you're rough and tumble. You're a farmer, right? So you don't have those issues, but really and truly you do. And I learnt to actually get rid of it, and if for want of a better word, by actually sharing the story and saying, hey, look, you can be as big and strong and as capable as you like, but in all that, you're still human. And so now I go and help other people advocate for it's all right to not be all right, and equally you can still be a bloody good farmer out the other side of it. When we were kids, my mother remarried and had my younger brother and younger sister as well. Very sadly for us as a family, my younger brother passed away with cancer when he was in his early 20s, so that's hard for us to see because the family's changed. Oh, gracious me, I talk to 3 people in a week up in Rurawai, and equally so you talk to 30 in the space of an hour down in Parliament. But it's about representing what I do, and I genuinely love farming, and I think from my point of view, having loved it my entire life and wanting to do it since I was a little guy, you take that story into other people's thinking and you take it to Parliament, and by virtue of that, you share in the narrative of all things rural.
All our farmers and growers identify with who they are by what they do. Ever increasingly, that identity is being taken from them.
People here are really good people. They're genuinely engaged in what each other is doing, and you know, there's you might say a wider family narrative, and it's all about what we share in, and that's the love of farming.